And that's to you.
Welcome to Keith and the Girl. Oh, I didn't hit record. Let's record this. Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Hello, Chemda. How are you?
I'm all right. I have a little cold, but it's not COVID. So grateful to be here.
Right. It's bike riding and it's worth it. Doesn't matter if it's winter time, that cool breeze, a little ice in the face. I am not sick. I had a great fucking weekend, if I may say. It was so fun.
Is that sarcastic? Because I don't know you to have good weekends.
It's not sarcastic, but some things are personal. Kind of mind your business. But I will say it was Veterans Day weekend.
Shit.
And the news is shouting me. Don't worry about it. The news did it. Football did it. Don't worry, you guys that are kicking yourself right now. It doesn't even matter. You know, the beauty is we did it for you. And that's it. We didn't sign up and tell you, hey, we signed up for the military and take a bow. We do it so you don't have to even worry about it.
Now, there was so Veterans Day landed on Saturday, so it was Friday that it was observed. The banks were closed and stuff. Like people were off school. I mean, this is a real. I mean,
so everybody was off, and I didn't get any phone calls. That's interesting. Okay. Anyways,
well, my point is, it seemed like you had 2 days to celebrate, Friday and Saturday, giving me even less reason to not reach out. So apologies again.
Right,
Thoughts
sure.
and Prayer says pizza, of course, and we follow pizza everywhere they go. But my point is, did you go around with your veterans card both on Friday and Saturday to see what happens?
I didn't, but I know, like, you know, some restaurants give free meals, but you know, they expect you to A, buy other stuff, B, bring somebody else. You know, so you can't go, oh shit, I gotta go back to war. Can I get that to go? Actually, you know, so you know, it's all a trick. So no, but I did enjoy football very much. The Steelers won. Then after they win, the next games that pop up that we're finishing happen to be games in my division, and those people that mattered lost. It is a very fun time. It's a very fun time to live in this country.
So the bracket is in your favor right now.
The bracket is looking good. The Ravens are 1 game ahead of us, but they lost. That's a big deal because we're getting closer. And Bengals lost, so they're even further away than us. We are number 5, let's say, out of 32 teams. So that's very good.
That sounds very good.
That's very good. So we're pleased. So this is the year. Steelers are going to the Super Bowl.
Do you have your bet?
The bet is in every year for some years now. I'm not sure. If somebody remembers, let me know. I don't remember. I'm kind of curious how long ago this started, how many years.
You know how you could tell who was mad at you when you started this? It was somebody you were dating or married to that was like, really, Keith?
Danny Hatch called me a fucking idiot. So so sometime around then.
So it was over 6 years.
I was gonna guess about 7 years, but I'm not sure. So I put $100 on the Steelers winning the Super Bowl. I don't see how they can't after so much time. If I win now, I believe I get $4,300. So that means what? That's how many. I don't have a calculator now, but 100 into 4,300. That's in 43 years they won't win a Super Bowl. That means I'll break even if in 43 years they don't win a Super Bowl. So I think this is pretty much the smartest bet in history. Some years you don't want to do it, of course, based on statistics, but you got to be in it to win it. So
that's when you take your chances, right? Now, I believe that the math that you just did is perfect for gamblers to continue just living their life.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you always somehow with every math that you do, you win the math game. You're like, yes, I bought an Xbox the other day, but I didn't buy the PlayStation when it came out, and I didn't have a Wii at the time that. So when you think about it, I actually saved $500 when I bought this.
They paid me to give me the Xbox. Yeah, if I return something, that's not even money. That's money I made. Of course. And watching football is so fun live because you see stuff that you don't see in the highlights. You hear, like, all of a sudden everything's silent on the field and a player goes, oh, fuck me. And you're like, that won't be in a highlight. That's fun. That's fun. Somebody makes a touchdown. You're not going to see in the highlight that they put their finger out to their partner to smell as if they just fingered somebody in high school and they're celebrating a touchdown. You only get that stuff live, and that's exciting. You get the announcer, somebody threw a pass like behind him, And the announcer, for no reason, he doesn't know what to say. He's trying to fill up time, and he goes, and that pass was back. Yeah, back into the left. And he's making a wink at JFK getting his head shot off. And I'm like, that won't be in the highlights.
Stop it.
There wasn't more to it. That's all it was. And the other announcers, they shut up when somebody says something too nuts, and then they move on. Very exciting football. This is what you're missing, Kenda. Yeah.
Well, you know, all this time I thought it was just Taylor Swift, but there are other things happening in football. So did she just not show up, and now we're paying attention to when fingers are being smelled and curse words, and I don't know. That's wow.
They were actually, the Steelers were off this weekend. So there wasn't Taylor Swift news in that regard. Although Taylor Swift did sing a song, I guess it's called Karma, because she sings a lot. Karma's this, Karma's that, and then rhyme something with Chiefs. Karma is the guy from the Chiefs, and the whole crowd came. They all orgasmed. Her boyfriend was there in the crowd. It'd be funny if he didn't notice. I think it was told, like, you pay attention. There's gonna be phones on you during this song, so you better not be getting a hot dog or something.
Yeah, but it has to be right. Like how they when people are for sure going to win Oscars, they let them know ahead of time, like, hey, you're gonna want to come because you won at least one. So it's not really a surprise to everybody. They need those people in the seats who are going to win.
I saw during football there was a Capital One commercial where John Travolta is dressed as Santa Claus, and it's a spoof. And he did a spoof before for another company some time ago from Pulp Fiction. This time is a Capital One commercial. The spoof was Saturday Night Fever. I fairly recently, if you recall, saw Saturday Night Fever for the first time. I just assumed it was bullshit dancing, but I'm trying to see all the quote classics.
Me too. I recently saw it. Me too. This was terrifying movie.
So violent. There's a gang rape on the Verrazano Bridge. John Travolta at the end is there's an attempted rape. He comes back and apologizes. I think it ends up working out for him. Yeah, I was too much that night.
But the gang rape, he was driving while it was happening, right? If I'm remembering right. And he was like, and see what happens when you don't behave to the girl. Basically.
She wanted a little attention because John Travolta wasn't giving it to her. And so the guy started, so she's like kind of making out with the first guy. Then the first guy rapes her. And then they really just take turns, and she's crying as it's happening. She's not pleased about it. And then John Travolta leans back. He didn't rape her, but leans back and goes, okay, are you happy now?
Mm-hmm.
You tried to teach me a lesson. Are you happy now? Now it's a Capital One commercial where it's the movie starts. He takes 2 slices of pizza, makes them like a sandwich, eats them. And I guess that's memorable. Here he's Santa Claus. He buys 2 gingerbread cookies. He puts in the commercial, I don't know if it's in the movie, I don't know if it's a jacket or shoes. I think shoes. And he puts them on layaway. In this, they're like fancy elf-like shoes. And the person he's buying it from is Annette from the movie. The person who was raped. And she goes, oh, where you been? And he goes, the North Pole, and gives a wink. I'm like, do you need to spoof this movie?
Right. Yeah. Do you need, because people only have, and by the way, that is how women were treated in rape scenarios. It was like the fact that he goes, are you happy now, is not new to women in those scenarios. And by the way, he was depicted as a good guy in that whole scene.
Right.
Like as a guy who was like, what's he going to do? Like he was the soft one, the nice one in that scene.
Yeah. So, first time I saw this commercial was at the movie theater, and I couldn't believe it. I was a little surprised. I'm like, did people just remember it was dancing? Did I see it when I was an adult and everybody saw it when they were kids? Was there a version? Mm-hmm. I understand there's a version of just the dancing. Is that what people saw?
Honestly, like, I love dance movies. There wasn't that much dancing in this movie for me to only remember the dance scenes. They were just pieces of shit. It was like watching a gang movie.
Yeah. The movie I saw was The Marvels, the brand new superhero movie. There's
always one, isn't there?
There's always
We're always talking about a superhero movie.
Yes. This is with Captain Marvel. The woman that was her friend in WandaVision, and Ms. Marvel, a teenager who loves Captain Marvel. And for some reason, they all have powers that connect. Who knows why? And they swap bodies during, let's say, fight scenes. So all of a sudden, one woman's fighting somebody, then they switch, and one woman is now at the girl's house and has to talk to her parents, who are adorable, that we met from a TV show. But then, the girl has to fight some monster all of a sudden. I dug that a lot, and I was very nervous because I saw in a newspaper it got 0 stars, and I just happened to see it. I don't look this stuff up, but I'm like, no, because it's all women, and I don't want it to be bad. And it reminds me of the female Ghostbusters movie, where you can tell weird incels are giving it no stars and shitting on it, but it didn't even come out yet. It's like, wow, you really hate women. And then I saw it, and it was horrible, and I'm like, damn it. So I got nervous about this, but I am pleased. Some corny stuff for no fucking reason that was like, ugh, okay. There's a planet where they can't understand you unless you sing what you're trying to tell them. So there's a dance scene and singing. And then she's talking to like the president of the planet. She needs help with him. So they're singing. And then she goes, can you help me? And he goes, yeah. And then one of the other women go, wait a minute, you didn't have to sing that? And she goes, he's bilingual. And then she says the help she needs. So it didn't even have to happen.
Oh, man. It reminds me of the Barbie movie where there were dance scenes, because that's just what supposedly women think of. And I'm sitting there going like, I do think of that. I think of choreographed dancing all day sometimes. And I used to think like, when I was able to run, I would run and just think about choreographing a whole freaking dance routine. And I thought it was just because I have some dance in my background, so I just like it. But I think it's a lot of women.
So somebody told me, well, you'll like it. At least Captain Marvel, she's hot. And well, I have porn though. Like, am I gonna whack it to the theater? Nice mug,
No, but you're gonna actually listen to her or like pay attention to those scenes, since and I hope they were wearing heels. Like,
I forget how practical they were, but I don't remember heels sticking out. But yeah, you're right. Like Margot Robbie in The Big Short, they put her in a bathtub so the guys listen to her explain the stock market. Yeah, sure. There's I won't give it away, but there's a credit scene. Sometimes they're lame, these after credit scenes. Sometimes they're pretty cool. The new world, of course, is the multiverse, so that they can put any superheroes together, or a different version of a superhero, or a different actor of a superhero on a different planet. One of the characters in the movie ends up going to a whole new universe in this scene. And for me, I'm like, I wonder if that person, when they read the extra scene, was like, oh, I'm not in the main universe anymore. I wonder if it was a bummer, like, oh, I'm in this other universe that people are excited about.
Really? Because I thought like, oh, I'm in the spinoff. Like, I would think like, oh, they're spinning this off. I'm going to be in a whole new universe, and I'm going to be the head of this.
I think we all want to be in the main universe. That's what I think.
Oh.
That's my 2 cents. But I did audibly go when I realized what was going on. Oh, fuck. Like, everybody in the audience, they read these comic books. They somehow get clues for shit, and they know. And I'm like, what do you know? What do you know? And if you saw it, I'm like, is that the Hulk? And then I'm like, oh, no. And I said out loud like I was a child. Oh, fuck. So
that's
everybody
exciting.
was horny about that. It was very exciting. It was very exciting. People will dig that. Oh, well. But yeah, it's hard to, I'm seeing a movie with all women, and it's No Nut November. What am I supposed to do? Blue Nova says, I enjoyed the comment that No Nut November is beyond too much if it's after daylight savings time, adding an hour. That's true. That's another bonus hour we can't whack off. I learned there is a counterpoint movement called Destroy Dick December. Life is so shitty. We just got to make months rhyme. So please spread awareness of that upcoming month. Also, this person's talking about the Covenant Eyes. The new Speaker of the House says he is a porn buddy advocate, an accountability partner, his 17-year-old son, and this device, Covenant Eyes, on all your phones and devices, lets the other one know when they're looking at porn, so that they can just sit them down and go, hey, like you wouldn't remember your dad or your son is going to see this. How fucking creepy. Anyways, it flagged. The new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, that's some name. Mike Johnson said it did flag something once, but it wasn't porn. It was 2 women talking. Like, that's how conservative this app is, which I do think he's behind, because I heard that clip that we played where he talks and he's like, I mean, I have nothing to do with it, but we have this device do this and that. And there's pamphlets for the men in here about the technology. I'm like, I think you have something to do with it.
Huh.
But yeah, two women can't talk in this app without warning the guys.
Well, that is pornographic. What could they possibly be talking about? They're about to scissor.
Blue Nova says, two women talking is an alert for porn. What else ridiculous stuff can be flagged? A woman chopping a cucumber, maybe? Maybe.
A woman petting an eel.
Right. Only sex talk I got from my mom in regards to sex talks when we were kids, when it was clearly too late, was her telling me that if a guy is nice to me at all, it's because he wants sex. The male cashier at the grocery store was polite to me as we checked out, and I turned to her and said, "Oh no, he wants sex with me." School didn't teach me either. I asked outright how the sperm gets into an egg in the 5th grade, and the teacher said, if I saw a guy with his pants down, to run the other way. Yeah, health class was so boring and lame. This is the labia. This is the fauna. I kept raising my hands. I'm like, can I kiss that part? This is the fallopian tubes. Yes, Keith. Can I kiss it? They didn't tell me anything that could help.
You know what that really was? Whoever wrote that in, that was my education also. My mother gave me a book, and I was really glad because I didn't want to hear those words coming out of her face. It was very shocking to me. But she always had described men as coming after us for sex. So she's going to be like, all the guys that are going to talk to you, all they're doing is trying to have sex. Everybody's going to come after you. They're going to try to take it, even if you don't want it. When you're alone in a room with a dude, make sure that there's space with you. They will, like, no matter who it is, they're going to try to come after you. So then when they did, it wasn't assault anymore. It was just what they do.
It was just weird, you know, when the teacher gets lazy and just wants to play a film for the class. It didn't have to be Saturday Night Fever. That's all. Romance novels.
What was that? What was that rated? Is that before ratings? Because I don't.
It would have been rated R. It would have been rated.
But I don't think that it's so weird to say that rape scene. I don't think that rape scene was like so odd to people.
It was odd to me.
I think that's what they mean by a different time. I think definitely people were like, that's fucked up. But they still considered all those characters to be like cool. And he said, are you happy now? He actually said that, right?
Yeah.
Are you happy now? That's what a good guy used to say.
Right.
So, yeah, they probably have nice memories because that's what we thought of as guys, just regular life.
Romance novels sort of helped teach me. The language was flowery and vague, so it wasn't 100% clear. I still crack up over the memory when I came to line, quote, her thighs were wrapped around his head, and I couldn't figure out how the guy could contort himself to have a penis inside her while her thighs were around his head.
Aww.
It took a while longer than I learned about oral sex, thanks to the internet. Yeah, my dad acted like he never saw porn. It's just, oh, my poor mom. You never saw porn. That's fucking weird.
You think he never did?
He had. I had, based on the Dad Emails book, I'm going to assume yes. But this is the guy. I mean, he's such a weird liar. Who the fuck knows? But this is the one that was like, they put tits in movies, in mainstream movies now. And he's like, back in my day, you didn't do that. I'm like, okay. What they did was show you less, and it was more sultry and seductive. I'm like, so what are you saying? And by the way, there was no subtlety to those old movies. They all thought they were on Broadway. Everybody overacted. It's hard to watch old movies. So no, there's no subtlety about the sex. It's gonna be a bumpy night. Like, okay, all right, that's so subtle. It uses my imagination. I won't bite you unless you like that sort of thing. Like, okay, all right, 1932. All right. By the way, speaking of movies, I saw some Exorcist movie.
We could, at this point, just say some Exorcist movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know what the fuck I'm watching with these Exorcist movies. All I know is, why do they bring a little flask of holy water if the devil really doesn't like holy water? Bring a gallon of holy water. We need to waterboard this bitch. The power of Christ compels you. Holy shit. And it caused that. Misha brings up a good point. The holy water all costs the same. So bring in a fucking gallon. Bring in a water jug. A little flask. You sprinkle 2 things so you don't run out. The devil hates holy water. Bring a lot. And all these Exorcist movies are always the same. They come in, the devil says something like, I know you had sex once with a woman. And the priest is like, oh, God, you're deep. As if the priest wouldn't go, yeah, and it felt good. Like, that's what you got for me? Nah, it blows my mind. I got to leave the room and talk to the parents. And the parents are like, are you done yet? No, it's actually a couple stages. I freak out. I leave. Then I get the balls to come back in. Then it contorts itself. It didn't even start contorting yet. The arm is in like its normal position. So we're kind of not even close so far. But he's probably going to say something about my mother, and that might throw me. So let me just recollect myself real quick. Well, do you want to role play and I'll shit on your mother a little bit? Nah, it's more dramatic when I hear it for the first time. I could say shit like your mother never really loved you. Yeah, it's different in a deep voice. I could do a deeper voice. It's awkward already. Oh, well.
It's the weirdest role playing ever.
Why not playing something? You know, talk in the shower. Do exorcists talk to themselves in the shower and make up the devil's role sometimes, so that they're prepared the way we plan conversations that never go the way we plan?
I'll say something about his mom. No, that's dorky. That's played. No, they love that.
Like, you don't have a quick reply to your mom sucks dicks in hell? Like, you didn't prepare yourself for that. That's an exorcism 101. They're going to talk about your mom sucking dicks in hell. That's a fact. Be ready. It'd be like if you were a comic and you weren't ready for a heckler. They're always surprised, like, oh my goodness. Here's a story about a person, quote, I was shocked to find my husband cheated on me with my mom. An Idaho mom of two named Catherine claims that her husband cheated on her with her own mother and revealed that it was her grandmother that told her about the affair.
What?
Catherine said there were big red flags about her ex-husband, and her mother's illicit relationship, but she ultimately ignored the signs because she didn't want to believe it was happening. The first thing she noticed was how her husband and mother started greeting each other differently. Instead of an awkward side hug, her mom would wrap her arms around her husband's neck, and then, quote, he would swing her around in a circle to say hello.
Why are they doing that?
Yeah, that's what she's saying. That's odd. Looking back. He also started giving my mom foot rubs in front of me.
What are you going to do? Ask them if they're fucking? What are you going to do?
She said that on Valentine's Day, just 2 days before she found out about the affair, that he brought her flowers. Yeah, but also flowers for the mom. But the biggest red flag is that on multiple occasions with multiple witnesses, my mother and ex-husband would say, you know, if Catherine and her dad were ever to tragically pass away simultaneously, we would totally end up together. This is a cute thing you say at Thanksgiving. It doesn't necessarily mean something. I mean, it happened to. She claimed her grandma came to her and told her she thought something might be going on between her mother and her husband because of odd behavior she noticed between the duo.
How old are these people? You have children and your grandma's still alive? I mean, just notice that you have a lot of generations more than other people. Wow.
She said one night in February of last year, when her twin daughters were little babies, she FaceTimed her husband to ask him when he would be done with work, since it was already after 9 p.m. At the time, he was a DoorDash delivery driver, and Catherine said she noticed that he was in a different area than he said he was. First of all, I get lost all the time, so I got that excuse covered. They fought for a bit, and then it got worse. Quote, all of a sudden, I heard a woman's voice. He turned over to his passenger seat as if listening to that voice speaking. She said she grew very suspicious and asked her husband if there was another woman with him, but he simply called her crazy. I wonder if he was like, okay, do you want to see? Here, I'll take my phone. Here's the back seat. Okay, nobody's there. Okay, show the passenger seat. Let me get out of the car. I'll show you the passenger seat. And then it takes way too long. He's like, here's the passenger seat. All right, let me see the back seat. Hold on, let me get out of the car so you have a good view. Catherine called her husband a few more times after he reportedly refused to show her the passenger seat. At this point, I'm 99% sure it's my mom. I just had this gut feeling.
Oh, God.
What does he say? Like, if I do just turn my phone to we're already on FaceTime. If I do just turn the phone to the past seat, that's going to change everything. Because nobody's there. And it sounds like you don't trust me.
Do you
if
want to
I
be the
do that.
person?
Not all this bothers me. It's
Right.
if I do show you my phone, that would be the ultimate thing. But right now, I'm going to forgive you and let it go.
Right. Do you want to push it so far that I'm also going to show you the passenger side?
Right now, we can move on with our lives. But if you go to the point of no return, where I have to move my phone 1 inch that I could have solved this already and embarrass you and didn't yet, then that's gonna be a different relationship. She then decided to call her little sister because she still lived at home with her parents. Her sis, she said, confirmed her fear that the two were together after all. Her sister said her husband picked up her mother to go door dashing with him earlier that day and allegedly asked her sister not to tell her.
Oh my God, everyone's acting like they're in junior high.
Mm-hmm.
Because if your mom has time to just hang out with the DoorDash guy all day, just go be with him.
And what do you say? Like, hey, in case your sister calls, I doubt it. Don't tell her I'm door dashing with her husband, because she thinks it slows him down, but it actually speeds up the deliveries.
You know, we had big news on this Kickstarter, and we deliberately didn't tell people to not put them in a bad position before we actually announced it.
Right.
This person's like, hey, one daughter, I'll give you the information. And you can't ask people to cover up because it just exists in their world. That's crazy.
Catherine later rang her mom, who didn't answer until the 8th phone call, when she admitted to her daughter that she was with her husband.
And wait, the mom is still together with someone? The father or someone?
The mom is with the husband. The mom is with the wife's husband.
So the mom is married.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't know that. I don't want to add to it. I don't know that. Well, yeah, it said she lived. The sister still lived with her parents.
Right, that's two people. I don't know.
Yeah, with her parents. Catherine later rang the mom, didn't answer to the 8th phone call when she admitted to her daughter that she was with her husband. All right, I'm with him in the car for the. You got me. I'll admit it. I am door dashing with him. Sometimes we steal fries. She demanded they both come to Catherine's house, and both her mom and husband denied any affair until the following day. That must have been some night. She said she left with her children immediately, and then the situation took yet another turn. The night that I left with my daughters, my mother moved into my house with my husband. They continued to play house until I served my husband with divorce papers that also stated that I would be filing for 100% custody of our children. I like that the woman thinks that's a zing. Oh, no. You're taking the kids, too? While I fuck your mom? Oh, boy. Oh, no. You got to act like you care. Otherwise, she's going to do joint custody. You're like, oh, please. I've learned my lesson. No? Okay, bye.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen? He's going to fuck her sister now because he's in the house with her. He didn't. God, he lies to you. He's going to lie to everybody.
She claimed her husband eventually grew tired of her mom and kicked her out, but that her dad accepted her cheating mom back with open arms. So the parents, so it was both parents. The one guy forgave him when the main asshole dumped the mom.
What?
Well, sometimes you get into fights and you know what really happened. He goes, "You are just like your daughter." And then that was the straw.
But he's back with not just the person who cheated on him. He's back with the person who was sleeping with his son-in-law.
Yes.
Like there's so much math here that adds up to.
I don't know if you're perfect, Henda, but some of us aren't. We make mistakes.
Yeah.
A Princeton professor is sparking outrage by calling a journal article about sex with animals thought-provoking. And he says, hey, let's look at the moral implications after all. Maybe it's not so bad to fuck animals. That's a professor at Princeton.
Why? I consider myself very open-minded and liberal. I just feel, and I let's think about all the different ways. Sure, maybe we don't know every way. We're good with that.
Are we out of things to debate about?
Are we out of things to do? Are you that bored? Are you out of things to think about?
Between politics and religion, where do you find time for bestiality? Forgiveness.
Well, they say no politics or religion when you're going back to your family and it's almost Thanksgiving and Christmas. How about bestiality?
Do you know it's not? I put this in show notes one time. Well, don't ask what my Google searches look like. But bestiality, it said it was spelled wrong, but I couldn't figure it out. And it's bestiality.
Oh.
I think it's worstiality. How about that? Bestiality. A Princeton professor accused of arguing for decades that we need to rethink bestiality is again under fire for urging his social media followers to read and ponder a thought-provoking journal article called "Zoophilia is Morally Permissible."
But that's not even happening amongst animals, let alone the smartest one, humans. That's not even happening between tigers and bears.
Right.
What, you're going to force humans to do it? Like, you're going to allow... Why? Because we can hold something down long enough? The fuck?
Dr. Peter Singer, a teacher in bioethics, the ethics of biological research, living things. He follows the ethics of living things. At this Ivy League school, at the Center for Human Values, he taught since 1999, posted a link on Twitter. He has 124,000 followers.
Where's PETA in this?
Right.
Oh, they're dealing with hummus. Right.
This piece challenges one of the society's strongest taboos and argues for the moral responsibility of some forms of sexual contact between humans and animals. He's 77 years old. This article offers a controversial perspective that calls for a serious and open discussion on animal ethics and sex ethics. Read and ponder.
Give us something to read. Like, what is the pondering? What are you pondering?
He gave an article that explains that we need dog fucking now more than ever.
He gave an article citing
why. Yes, I didn't read it in all fairness, but why bestiality isn't morally wrong.
Check this guy's pets.
Yeah, check his pets, check everything. The piece, which is available online, asserts that animals can consent to sex with humans and that it may not always be a harmful experience for them. Who are these teachers? It's so stupid. You hear every so often a fucking professor saying something this stupid, like, what if the woman couldn't feel it? Was it rape? Like, at the end, you're fired. Never mind, you should be arrested. Critics
sorry, but I wasn't as concerned for how the animal would consent and feel good about things.
Right.
I was more concerned about the psychological and physical detriment to the human.
I'm looking up a lot of people don't know what tail wagging really means. And in this case,
you know what? A dog would come with you to go fucking kill a human. So they know things.
Critics of zoophilia need more than outrage. They need better arguments, says this article. I suggest that the permissibility of zoophilia should now be taken as the default position, with the burden of proof belonging to the critics. I have the burden of proof saying about why I should have to say why not the fucking animal.
What?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's like, you're acting like I should say why it's okay to fuck an animal. He's saying you have to say why it's not okay. You have the burden of proof. I didn't know you can just say that.
But that is in existence already.
No, he's saying Keith Malley, should have to prove why you shouldn't fuck animals.
But someone else
He's saying that the default should be regular, not to his liking, not to his satisfaction. Singer, who is a vegetarian, well, he's not a dickhead, is best known for his is Singer the teacher? Yeah, Peter Singer. Is a vegetarian, best known for his 1975 work, Animal Liberation, which argues against most animal experimentation. This guy really loves animals a lot.
Oh my God. So someone said to him, you love them so much, why don't you fuck them?
Yeah.
And he goes, aha.
All right. Okay. So he's not into makeup on animals. He's not into eating animals. He's into loving animals. In a 2001 essay by Singer, he argued, sex with animals does not have to be cruel. Who has not been at a party disrupted by the household dog gripping the legs of a visitor and vigorously rubbing its penis against them? The host usually discourages such activities, but in private, not everyone objects to being used by her or his dog in this way, and occasionally mutually satisfying activities may develop. He fucked animals. This isn't a what if. He did it. He did it.
Yeah, he did. And again, I'm not concerned about the animal. Yes, an animal will lick anything that you put peanut butter on. So, yes,
Right.
that animal had a different experience than you. This is just not healthy.
The dog's consenting. Well, let me tell you about these animals. They're kind of fucking dumb. They're kind of stupid.
By the way, what is it consenting to? What are you now
or eating dick? Yeah.
But are you listing what kind of sex? Are you blowing the animal? Are you like is it just a male dog? Are you butt fucking it? Is it butt fucking you? Is it allowed to like what is
That'd
it
be funny if
consenting?
this guy has to be a female dog because he's homophobic.
Right. That's
Like,
what I'm
easy, the
saying.
Bible says. Oh, well. Speaking of the Kickstarter
Is
news,
anyone I'm sorry, do you use do you use a condom in this situation? I think that's the first conversation you have is how you protect yourself and the dog for the harm that can happen by putting those things together.
It depends if the dog's been around the block. You know?
I just bred this dog for fucking, so don't worry about it.
I'd like to stop. Oh, man. He passes a pet store and he's like, oh. Like, that's a turn on. Yeah, it has to be.
Has to be. He loves, I'm going to say it. He loves animals too much. There, we found the line. We found the line.
Yeah.
Mallory Jane is saying, Hemda, asking the important questions. Yeah. And Mimi Cherry just saying, ew.
Dr. Peter Singer. Can you imagine? Imagine you paid for your kid to go to Princeton. You find out this is one of the professors.
Princeton.
Holy hell. I'd rather find out my kid faked being a rower.
Yes, absolutely. Chris is saying, wow, I really don't want this guy participating in Crowvember. All right, Mimi thought that was funny. Like, okay, no, not November, Crowvember. I guess he's having sex. All right, well,
what?
I don't know. We were talking about fucking animals. He took it to a crow.
I like immediately him to call Yet and goes, sorry, that person thought it was funny.
I know. I'm like, I'm sorry, Chris. Mimi Cherry said lol Chris, so I went and read Chris's thing, and I'm like,
you got to be careful what people endorse. Somebody's endorsing a dog fucking article. You know, I would rather my wife fucked my dad.
Yes.
Than personally know Peter Singer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did we have to go that far? Could we make this the poll? Would you rather your partner fucks your parent or guardian? Or
endorses the idea.
Yeah, just endorses. You don't even have to do it. Endorses the idea
of loving animals.
Like, but physically.
Here's a letter. I'd like to start by saying I've been battling COVID the last week. My emotions have been all over because apparently that's a thing with COVID. Ooh. This hit real hard, this news about Keith Hemda and Keith and the Girl. I stumbled across Keith and the Girl almost 20 years ago looking for podcasts when podcasts were barely a thing. I remember not knowing what was going on. Keith was screaming a lot. That hasn't changed. Hemda was kind of in the background sharing occasionally. Listening all these years later, Hemda is the most caring, loving person I've ever, quote, met. She is kind to a fault. She sees the best in everyone. She has no idea what is going on in pop culture. She laughs at herself and makes dumb jokes.
I just did that.
I hope she finds the happiness and joy she deserves. I'm crying now, and it's not from the COVID.
Oh, good for you for crying. I love crying.
I
don't love crying, but I love that people cry because I think we should let it out.
I see people cry on the streets of New York City. You see that a lot. I see somebody, I go, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Just give them a tissue.
You guys are really trying to win Most Shocking Moment Award, aren't you? I'm happy to support the Kickstarter, keithandthegirl.com/kick. I haven't always been able to donate, but thanks to the changes I made in my own career, I'm blessed to be able to give back to the people whose podcast has supported me emotionally for so many years. My Forums account shows I started in 2008. In the time, I have always had Keith and the Girl to keep me laughing and smiling, even when I was experiencing my own breakups, my own health issues, the death of my own mother, and life's everyday bullshit. A highlight of my memories was being able to see you guys live in Las Vegas during the Whirlwind Tour. Thank you for everything, Keith and Hemda. I have no doubt that both Keith and Hemda will continue to have their own great successes in their separate projects. I look forward to seeing how OMAT grows and expands. I look forward to Keith and the Girl becoming Keith and the Guest. This news may have been more shocking than the original breakup, relationship-wise, they mean. But while I know you will be on different paths, You will both still 100% support each other just as you have since the beginning. L'chaim to both of you. Peace, love, and Keith and the girl.
Holy shit. I don't know why I didn't think of Keith and the guest.
Right?
I fucking love that.
Yeah, I don't want to be changing tattoos. Damn, said our buddy Tech Andrew. Just got the news. This will take some time to soak in. And the Chris Turner rap at the end of the Kickstarter video was a cool touch. Dang. My journey in Keith and the girl has had a front row seat to every plot twist and drama along the way. And now another chapter begins. I wish you both the best in your new adventures, and we'll watch you both do your thing and grow, thrive, and make the world a better place. I love you both for all that you shared with so many over these years. Legendary. So many fucking cool stories and characters, the live shows, the tours, the books, SimpsonsMovie.com, Hall of Fame. Onwards. Tech Andrew.
I forget what we did. It is 19 years worth.
Let's see. Hi, hello, how are you? Matthew from Florida. My name is Matthew. My wife Shannon has listened to your podcast show for a very, very long time. This is her story. Her oldest son, Sean, passed away 4 years ago. He had a terminal disease, which is a form of muscular dystrophy. Although we knew his life was going to be short, his death was the result of a home nurse who was not paying attention to the monitor during the night.
Oh. And
Shannon, my wife, relieved the nurse at 7 a.m. the next morning, discovered her son, Sean, was deceased. That sounds like she worked there, too. I can't tell. Sean had just turned 21 2 weeks prior. Getting to that point, I would like for your whole group to know that you all are the ones that Shannon clung to. She would go out on the porch at night, smoke her bowl, and listen to y'all for hours on end. I've come to listen to her, and I love y'all. Listen with her. Excuse me. I've come to listen to her. I've come to listen with her, and I love y'all.
To her also. Yeah.
For the last 10 years leading up to Sean's death, Shannon was not able to work or have a moment to herself, really, because she did not have much help. She and I met in 2018, just short of a year before Sean passed. I came to treat Sean and her 2 other kids as if they were my own. Yeah, you can still only do so much with that said. It's a little helpless sometimes. I helped as much as I could, but as a single mother, her life was devoted to Sean. Still is 4 years after his passing, and she still listens to you both. Live streams, all the games y'all play. She just learned of Henda's leaving, and she cried real tears and snot. Anyway, I just thought y'all would like to hear about that. Who I believe is the one, if not the biggest fan of both of you and all your guests. Thank you for listening to an old man rambling, Matthew.
Oh, Matthew, thank you for telling us about Shannon and Sean. Oh my God. Shannon, so much love.
And like the video said, Henda's still here till our anniversary. So she'll be part of this show for at least 4 months. And I know I said this last show where we announced it with Craig. My life has personally changed, not counting this news, in the last 4 months. Has yours, listener? Has your life personally changed in the last 4 months? That is a long time. I think that should be the poll. As much as I want to get into dog fucking thoughts, has your life personally changed in a pretty big way in the last 4 months? That's huge.
Well, 4 months is 1/3 of a year.
Right. Look at you. Good for you. Hey, all, says Tamara. I'm 32, triple D, tattoo number 96. I was a weirdo who got a tattoo, but was too afraid to email you to let you know. Like I wouldn't give a shit. You have so many already, Keith.
I love it so much.
Yeah. KeithandTheGirl.com/tattoos. Take a look. They're fantastic. I give more shits than a body can physically produce about this email. I'm also sober because alcohol gives me heartburn. I do like to know if people are drunk when they write. I'm over 30 years old. I've listened to you both since I was 15 years old. I began listening to you two on my family's computer, and I used the first paycheck of my first job to buy an iPod so I can listen to you without restriction. I am now 32 years old. I can honestly say that you two had more of an impact on me than any other source.
Holy shit.
I'm pretty sure that some of my major life choices were because you both had an influence on me. For example, volunteering at an abortion clinic. It's because you normalized abortions. I know I broke up with my ex of 8 years because of you, Hemda. You were so open about Al-Anon. I was able to attend meetings and separate myself from my ex rather than continue down the vortex. And after that relationship, I moved to Charlotte and listened to you both for that 2-day drive. I know it's a parasocial relationship, but you all have helped me be a better person. I'm thankful that the show is going to continue on, but you will be missed so much. You are both amazing. I hope you both understand the impact that you have. I know I'm a better person because I had the privilege of listening to you both for more than half my life. Love always.
God, that's so nuts. I've never done anything for 19 years ever. Have you?
Right.
I've never done.
This is longest relationship period, no matter how you look at it, work wise, romantic wise.
Blood.
This is bigger than any. I think our blood has changed out by then. I see. You mean blood relatives. I talked to them less. I don't even know if that counts. No job was longer, even if you add all the different waiter, dishwasher, count me being a busboy. This has been longer. Everything's been longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listener Liz is saying, am I just going to cry at every episode for the next 4 months?
That's the goal. That's the goal. Sam Azores wrote on our Kickstarter, fuck. We know Sammy. We know Sammy. I wrote, you ain't whistling Dixie, but we'll still be singing. And then Sammy wrote back, I don't know what that means, but it made me cry again. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Keith, but God damn it. A week from today is November 20th, Monday, November 20th. That day will be live in the last game show. So make sure you say hi. Mark your calendars. Monday, November 20th, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's on the Keith and the Girl YouTube channel. Be part of it. And again, thank you to everybody that supported the Kickstarter. It's, of course, we never know how it's going to go, quite frankly, even if we should. You know, when I do stand-up, I get on stage and I'm like, oh, there's people. Awesome. This is kind of the same thing. You never fucking know. And that can make us cry. Thank you guys for caring.
I have for this Monday, the 20th, Gastor is joining us. And
the landlord with the Ball of Energy landlord. We all want him to be our landlord. Yes. Yes.
And Christian Finnegan. And possibly Jimmy Pardo, who's very good with music. I thought this is the last game show that I'm ever doing. So I thought I'd get some really big players.
I hear you. Yeah. The year's Kickstarter promises another year of Keith and the Girl, a 24-hour marathon. Also, it's the only way to get tickets to the last Silent Trailers episode. How do you get in and be part of that? You support our Kickstarter at any level. Go to keithandthegirl.com/kick and make sure there's another year of Keith and the Girl, a 24-hour marathon on February 3rd. And grab your ticket for that Silent Trailers game show that we were just talking about. Again, that's keithandthegirl.com/kick. And we thank you so very much.
And by the way, that the last Silent Trailers will be in December. I'm pulling up my calendar right now, but if you do support the Kickstarter, you can come to the live show, but also we will send you the Silent Trailer. So you won't miss it, even if you're in a different time zone or you happen to be busy. So I have it scheduled for December 10th.
Okay.
So I guess that's when we're doing it.
All right. November 20th is the next game show. That's on our YouTube channel. And in relation to our Kickstarter, if you support at any level, the Silent Trailers episode will apparently be on December 10th. All right, there you have it. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Thanks for the emails. They mean a lot. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Did you see me reading without my glasses?
Look at you.
Holy shit. I'm just guessing the words. Maybe Chris was funny and I just fucked it up. Chris says, now that's a poll. So are we doing the
Has your life changed in the last 4 months?
Oh, okay. I still want to know about the bestiality.
And do you fuck dogs?
I'll find a way to bring it up in tomorrow's episode so we can do it.
Okay.
Bucho says, I was just listening to Jimmy Pardo right before this. Let him know. Sam is an old school jack off from way back, says Chris. I just want to stay. You could see I don't even want to close up because all my friends are writing in the chat that we've been around for years now, and I'm gonna say goodbye again. And so every goodbye for 4 months will just be this endless I don't want to go.
Right.